SV versus Livid Motorsport. Here we are for round 8, round the Canadian Grand Prix circuit. Tonight in the commentary box you have myself as always, and finally we have someone in the commentary box helping myself. Jota, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely brilliant. Obviously, it's actually nice to talk to someone for once in this championship, because I've done 7 rounds and I've had no one to talk to. But yeah, it should be a very interesting race. I don't actually know the points difference. I know it's over 100, I believe, in favour of SV, which is going to be interesting. Only 11 drivers tonight. So it should be a very interesting race. Looking like multiple strategies going on at the beginning of qualifying. We do have a Red Bull of, I think that's Rydog now coming out. Quite a fair few drivers now coming out. Very unusual pit exit to this track. Feeds out into turn 2. Quite unusual. To be fair, Abu Dhabi is kind of similar, but I think that turns into turn 3. Obviously you go underneath the track. But, 3 DRS straights around this track, so plenty of opportunities for overtakes, I think you would say.
Certainly one of those tracks that you would consider to be a very high overtaking situation, because I take a look at the track and I look at the specific sort of groundings of the likes of turns 10, 11, 12, 13, and 10 is a really, really crucial part. If you get that right, you can make some cracking overtakes on the DRS before you get to 13 and 14 at the World of Champions. So it's certainly going to be a sector to watch tonight, especially with the likes of G Ninja going down P9 on an outlap at the moment in Renault for Livid. But like I said, anything could happen in this race, and it usually does.
Yep. To be fair, the second DRS straight, I don't think it's really needed. It's not really well used for overtakes unless you're right behind the car. Like even in real life, you don't really see that too many overtakes happening into that corner. I don't know if that's just me personally, but that's kind of how I kind of see it.
You don't usually see a lot of overtakes happen at turn 13, 14. We're talking obviously with the DRS, if you get a good exit out of 10 and 11, you more than likely will end up getting an overtake before you get towards the World of Champions. However, if you do get close enough as well, of course, getting a good entrance and exit out of 13 and 14 will lead into a good overtake at turns 1 and 2. So it's certainly a very fast track in overtaking purposes, but it does get very, very tight, especially around turns 3 and 4. But obviously we saw the likes of Sebastian Vettel making that very crucial mistake and leading to that 5-second penalty that he did in real life Formula 1. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers do tonight, as Bonge is losing the rear end and he's just lost it heading into turn 4.
Rydog sets out. Oh, Snorlax has got. Oh, Danny F1's out already. Bonge. Oh yeah, Bonge is definitely facing the wrong way. So Snorlax currently on pole position. Oh, and Sinistro's gone as well. Rydog has just whacked the barrier there. Everyone's making. Everyone's struggling. Redemption has just completely cut that chicane. Seems to me everyone's. Pagoo now coming out in that Mercedes. Have we actually got anyone on a lap? Lucasade has just gone through, but it's unfortunately invalid. We've got Richard coming down to turn 13 and 14. Up to the Wall of Champions. Let's see if he can navigate himself through there. Ooh, I think he's kind of gone out a little bit wide there, but he's going to complete his lap. Goes P2. A set of mediums. We've got Futile Rydog about to complete his next lap. Goes even quicker. Goes himself into P2. Bonge, I believe.
He's in the second sector from Lucas in the Ferrari at the moment, heading through turn 11 and 12. 42
oh,
seconds.
Bonge just hit Bonge is going completely the wrong way. He's missed the pit. I have no idea what Bonge is doing there.
Got Lucas Zid coming around both through 13 and 14, heading onto the straight, loses the rear end a little bit in the Ferrari. He's going to be heading forward now to start to lap himself on the medium tyres, and he goes into second with 11.3.
Good lap. Yeah, Bonge completely missed the entry there.
Just caught it on the stream
And,
now, but a little bit of a lag in the tyres. Yeah, he looks like he was heading through 13, 14, clipped the wall after locking up, and decided to change his mind and come into the pits as quick as he can. Pagoo out on a lap though, and his teammate Bradford also out as well. Expecting a quick lap from Pagoo as well. He's on soft tyres.
Oh, Bivins joined very late on. He is a LIVID driver, so
he'll be starting P12.
Insane, but yep. Who navigating the...
A few more joining a bit late now.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing
that
not taking part though. I say we did take a little extra 15 minutes in order for them to get here. It's not too bad that they're late though, because it does mean that they're starting 12th and 13th respectively, and they will have the option to start on any tyre they want as well. So it's not all doom and gloom the fact that they are quite late for LIVID, but remember now we're up to 5 drivers for LIVID, I believe, if I'm right in saying, and we have a couple of others now. We've got one SV and one LIVID driver out. All right, so we're now up to 6, but one LIVID driver out after crashing in the qualifying session, but we do have one SV driver out as well. But Pagoo now coming across the line here on the soft tyres. It's going to be a blistering lap, this one as well. 8.5 pole position.
Ooh.
Bradford going to be heading through now as well.
Snorlax did indeed go off on his time, and Lucas A pushed himself into P2. Bradford
up to 6 on the medium tyres. It's not a very good lap from Bradford actually looking through there, and it was actually very tentative heading through the turn 13 and 14 through the wall of champions, and he's back in the RS5 again, so I think he's having another crack at it.
Got another yellow flag out there. Yeah, Lucas A on these medium tyres. I mean, he's a bit behind the top medium tyre runner. But,
here comes Snorlax
doing
now.
A cracking job. Right on board with him.
He's looking like he's going to have another run now.
Yeah. Got Ninja starting a lap himself as well. Bonge is back out onto a set of softs. Even after a year of these new tyre regulations, I still usually call them super softs because I'm just so used to it. But I'm finally getting the hang of it.
Bradford going down now, heading through to turn 13 and 14 to finish his flying lap, and it's looking a lot faster, and he's still a bit tentative heading through towards the wall of champions. DRS Open, 1 minute 15 in the last lap. He's going to be coming across the line, and he sets himself in speed 2. It's a Mercedes 1-2, an SV 1-2-3-4, heading through onto the next section here. So yeah, very good stuff from the SV guys at the moment.
Got Redemption coming up to turn 13 himself on those soft tyres. Let's see what kind of ride on board. Not going full pelt through there, but
not looking very quick on the soft tyres, and I think he's just started his lap because it is an invalidated lap. Ginger Ninja going to come across, so he's on medium tyres on the Renault, so he might be heading through here for a decent lap here. He's coming across the line 1 minute 8, 1 minute 9, 1 minute 10. No, 1 minute 9.8.
P4. It's actually a solid lap to be fair. Where's Bonge? Bonge is, I think he's invalidated his lap because he's going pretty slowly. Redemption, don't think he's on another lap because he's on no ERS. So I think it might be another, unless he's invalidated it at the start.
I think he'll be a casualty of that one.
Yeah, Redemption's just completely cut.
He's in the RS0 as well at the moment, so he's obviously having another crack at this one. We've got to remember as well, this is a track where we are on actually quite high density tyres here, so we're talking C4 compound, I believe, on the softs. So these tyres will wear out quite quickly if you burn through them, and the thing is that these tyres is of course what they'll be starting on if they get into the top 10. If Redemption does manage to get into the top 10, which as it stands he will do with obviously the 2 cars crashing out earlier on, he will be burning through those tyres, so I reckon he's going to be putting on a new set of softs.
Ginger Ninja coming up to the last couple of corners. Going again.
Oh, he's 4 tenths up though.
Ooh,
he's 4 tenths up. He could be on for pole here at this rate. Comes across. Oh, it's close.
P2. He didn't use DRS right at the start when it was activated. He was very late activating that. Let's go on to Bonge, see what I think Bonger's now on a lap. Oh, he's run out slightly
very wide, yeah.
Currently got 6 people watching the stream. Good evening, guys. I think that's the most we've had so far. Not gonna lie. I don't want to know what happened between Sinistra and Danny because they weren't that far like between each other when they were crashing out. I know.
I don't think they intertwined with each other.
Did.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, he goes Bonge! Oh,
Bonge! Oh, Bonge is out as well.
Casualty of 13-14. Oh dear.
So we've only got 8 drivers in qualifying left. What's Dungeon doing? I think he's run out of fuel. Got Richard coming up into turns 13 and 14.
Oh, he's very tentative. Yeah, very tentative. He's going to come across line. He does improve, but only by a couple of tenths. He doesn't improve his position.
Got a few drivers now coming out for their outlaps, for Goo being one of them. Lucasade, can't imagine him toppling the top 4, but I reckon he could probably get quite close up to there. Obviously he's on those soft tyres, so I don't really know the difference between
Lucasade set his 1 minute 11.0 on mediums, but as did Bradford on a 9.5 and Snorlax on a 9.5 as well. I do think Snorlax has got more time to find, but you would expect the difference between soft and medium is about 4, 5, maybe even 6 tenths if you find the right spots of the track. So there is a little bit more time to find, and Lucasade putting on the set of softs will push him into the 10s as it stands, but he needs to find a little bit more time if he wants to get into the top 4. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Redemption as he starts his outlap. He might have front wing damage before he even get going. And I think he has because he's straight into ERS0. And look at that. Going straight across into the pits.
Luckily for him, no one was coming out. Pagoo was on a lap, but I think he's invalidated very early. He's going again now. Same as Lucasade. He's up by 2 tenths. I think into first.
Snorlax has got Snorlax is a little bit ahead of Pagoo at the moment. He was the first person to set a lap out of the Cynical Velocity drivers in the top 5, and heading through into the first sector. We'll see where he is at the moment, and he is a tenth, just a little bit more than a tenth up in the first sector. And I do think he's got a little bit more time to find on the soft tyre from the medium, and I think he probably lost it all in the second sector, which is these selection of corners here. Very easy to make a mistake through these particular corners, but it looks like Snorlax gets it just right.
Got a slow car ahead. I think that's Lucasade.
Might be giving him a tow,
I think
actually.
he's going to give him a tow, yeah.
That's SV working wonders as a crew. Good work from them.
He doesn't get going straight away, so it's not going to benefit from the long DRS. Yellow flags going on right now, and
that might be for the slow car of Lucasade. He comes across very well taken, 13-14 from Snorlax here.
Could be a 108. Yep,
it is. It's not faster than Pagoo though. Pagoo's going to be coming across the line. He's 3 tenths up, and he goes even faster. 108.2.
Lucasade.
He's not.
He's already invalidated his lap. What about Redemption? What kind of times are you doing? He's set a lap time yet. Only 4.5 minutes to go.
He's really struggling out there as Redemption at the moment. If he doesn't set a lap, he'll be starting behind drivers who actually retired. So he needs to pick up the pace a little bit and set something.
Even if you do a slow lap, it's better than not actually doing a lap. It looks like he's on a good lap so far. Not sure if we've got anyone else on a lap. We might have. We'll have Richard on the lap fairly soon, and Redemption's coming in.
It's coming straight in.
Feeling it.
He's going to be risking stuff in here, because if he has anything but the soft tyre allocation here, he's going to be running out of soft tyres. So if he needs to do, let's say, a 2-stop with 2 sets of softs, he's going to be coming into the pits and going onto a 1 set of softs. So there's no doubt he's going to be strapping on another set of soft tyres here. And if he does, if he's on anything but the softer allocation, he won't have enough tyres to be able to strap on another set of new softs. So taking a bit of a gamble is this Toro Rosso, because he's making a few mistakes in his qualifying session. 3.5 minutes to go though.
Lucasade starting another lap here. Very
Other
Turn one
Ferrari,
could have put
other
a little
Ferrari
bit
of
more
Richard also
quicker
out
there.
as well.
He's just behind his teammate. Currently only just up on his time though. Would expect him to add a little bit more time to that. The only thing I find with Lucas he doesn't know how to use his airs properly. Because he always sits in hot. Oh,
There
that
goes
as well!
Well, hopefully
Oh,
that
this
won't
is going
hinder
to be
his
an
teammate
interesting
Richard. He
race.
doesn't. He's going to be progressing on Richard. He's looking for 11.4 and he needs to be 4 tenths up and he's 7 tenths up. So he's going to go and out-qualify his teammate at this rate. It's a good run actually from Richard.
What is it with this track? We've seen four.
It's the
DNS.
curbs.
Well, not even
It's
DNS.
the curbs. It's the curbs. If you mount the curbs, it don't matter how fast you go. If you mount the curbs, your car will spin and hit it the wrong way. Your tyre's going to come flying off. Here comes the Ferrari. Oh, he's very slow through 13 and 14.
Ooh. It's going to cost him a lot of time.
Going to come
Definitely
across the
going to
line.
improve. It's going to be a
10.9 exactly.
1:10.9. Does improve. He's only a second.
Redemption's still on an outlap at the moment as well for LR, and he needs to set a lap here because he's going to be starting behind drivers who have actually retired. And as it stands at the moment, Redemption as well, if he hasn't, like I said, if he has anything but the softer allocation, he's going to be out of soft tyres for the race, so he's going to be either achieving a one-stop, starting on soft, so if he does a two-stop, he's going to have to go on to a set of worn softs, which is not going to be ideal for the Toro Rosso.
Rio comes into the last couple of corners now. It's a good line through there so far to start his lap. DRS obviously wide open to the first corner.
Looks a bit tentative through one. He's keeping it steady. He's very steady on the gas. Very steady on the gas though. He's just wanted to set a lap, I think, at this rate. Here he comes in through 3 and 4. Yeah, not bad.
Up to the Sebastian Vettel corner.
Oh, he misses the apex through there though. It's going to cost him a bit of time.
Oh, runs up wide. I don't think he's got any damage though. There's a minute to go, so this would be... I mean, he's got one more lap after this. Oh, I think
he
he's
has the
nearly
fuel
just
to be
clipped
able
the
to do
wall
it.
there. Red light hasn't come on just of yet. So Pagoo and Ginger Ninja are all part of this qualifying session. But Redemption, cutting it very loose so far.
A bit of a personal gamble from Pagoo to not come out, because I'm sure Snorlax will be able to find at least 3 or 4 tenths.
Time, so he's up by 1/10 so far.
Here comes the Toro Rosso. Oh, surely that's an invalidation. Surely he's just cut 13 completely. Is he going to set a time? He does. He goes to P2, 8.6, and he's not having another go, I think.
Right, Snorlax.
Snorlax is down in the second sector. He's down in the second sector, so he's looking to go. He's got 10 seconds to try and get the cross line here, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to the finishing line here. And I think he knows it. 3, 2, and 1, and he's on the second row with Snorlax, and I don't feel he's going to be able to improve upon that lap time, and he doesn't.
Bradford, I think, might be going on for another lap here.
Redemption is not on a lap. He's 13 seconds down in the first sector. Here comes Bradford.
Oh, Rydog's cut that last corner there. He might have just gone away with it, but... Oh, no, he's just tried to crash himself out before the line.
Here comes Bradford, though.
Time.
Last opportunity to try and close down the gap here. So currently, as it stands, it's SV, LR, SV, SV, LR, SV, SV. So SV really dominating the qualifying, but Redemption definitely in there to stir some things up in this 10 versus 10. So good stuff from the LR drivers. And remember, of course, LR, there's a couple more starting at the back as well, and they're going to have fresh choice of tyres. So going to be an interesting one.
It's a massive surprise how far Ginger Ninja is now. He's absolutely...
Oh, he's really pushed. Oh, Bradford, he's really pushed going through there. Sorry, he's just coming in through now. He's going to set a lap time, 1 minute 9.1, but it is an invalidated lap. Oh, no, sorry, it's a wrong lap, sorry, so he's not improved.
So Pagoo will be starting on pole by 4 tenths there. That's a pretty big margin there, I would say. And Redemption has retired to make things a little bit easier. I'll go through the starting positions. I can't remember who else joined. I know Bibbin, and I want to say there was someone else as well. But Currently, it'll be Pagoo, Redemption, Snorlax, Bradford, Ginger Ninja, SV Richard, and Lucozade. With a 1.67 for Ferrari. Rydog and P8, Bonge and P9 after not even setting a time there. The same as Sinistro and Danny, and then we have Bibbin and I cannot remember the other person that joined. Would it be in Race Director? No, it wouldn't. Jesus. A lot of invalidated laps there. With their first lap and the next lap invalidated as well. Might see some rain potentially. Hopefully, just to mix some things up. That would be pretty nice.
One of those tracks in it where rain is possible.
Although Pagoo hates the rain, but we've got a dry start. It was also Panda.
Ooh, it's very dark though.
Starting at the back. Very overcast. But it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to have a look at these strategies. So Sinistro, Bonge, Danny, Panda and Bibbin all going to be starting on the softs after not actually setting a lap time. Rydog is going to be starting on the hards, because I think that's what he set his fastest lap on, which was, so he'll be looking to do the one stop. Lucozade on those mediums, because he wasn't able to set a time on the softs, and Ginger Ninja on those mediums as well, so he'll be going longer than the guys ahead.
We've got the drivers at the back now starting to change their strategies. Got Bibbin switching over to a medium tyre. We'll make note though, the overcast conditions will mean that the drivers are going to be going through certain issues with tyre warmth, and I suspect the hard tyre is going to be significantly slower at the start of the race. So anyone starting on the hard tyre, Bonge actually voluntarily swapping over to a hard tyre, will, I think will struggle at the start of this race. So I really would suspect that the mediums and the softs are probably going to be the best tyres to start on. And if you're on the medium tyre, I think you've probably got the best choice of strategy with the current conditions. So G Ninja, and SV Lucozade are certainly going to be drivers to watch at the start of this race. But obviously don't discredit the fact of SV Pagoo and Redemption and Snorlax, incredibly fast drivers on that soft tyre, as Panda also swapped into a medium tyre as well as Danny F1. So going to be an interesting one on strategy to watch.
So just noticed everyone in Livid, apart from Redemption, obviously because he set that lap time, is all starting on not a soft tyre. So it's going to be interesting to see where they need to, like, especially the guys at the back. I feel like they need to overtake the likes of Sinistro, Bonge, Lucozade to try and get themselves the upper hand in this race.
Sinistro especially with him being on the soft tyre, I think he's probably going to just knock on the doors of the likes of Bonge and say, look, you're on a completely different strategy to me, we're both part of the same team, let me through and let me get on with my own race. So I would suspect Sinistro certainly would be doing something like that. I'd expect probably Richard maybe to knock on the doors of sort of Bradford and Snorlax if their tyres start to wear thin, but of course that would assume the likes of Richard would be able to get past Ginger Ninja first, because I know SV Richard, based on previous experiences in SVOR, is very, very good on his tyres. So we'll have to see how that one develops. But of course, Ginger Ninja on the medium tyre may have the better start, because I've known that the medium tyre is a fairly quick tyre at the start of a race, even compared to the fresher softs, because it all depends on that tyre temperature. And if the tyre temperature is too cold, you'd suspect though that the softer tyre would be the best tyre to start on. So we'll see how it happens and how the race develops, but it's definitely going to be interesting with Redemption in P2.
Yep. Talking of decent drivers saving tyres, Snorlax. I do a lot of commentary where he races, and the amount of times that I've seen him take like the soft tyres, like an extra like 5 to 6 laps, very, very worn, as you can probably imagine, and yet he still is able to either keep up to his personal best, like within like maybe a couple of attempts, or some occasions you would see him actually beat his time when they're actually more fresher. So Snorlax is going to be interesting to watch this race. He is going to be starting, I believe it's P3, so he will just be behind.
It's worth
Magoo.
mentioning what you're saying actually about SV Snorlax as well, because if you remember so correctly on the commentary for the SVOR race, me and him actually did quite a little bit of chatting about our tyre strategy. We both started on a soft tyre, and we were progressing on, and we managed to take the soft tyres easily 20 laps. And they still felt, even though they were monitoring 60 to 70% away, I still felt like 2/10 off the pace of our personal bests. And as a result, me and him managed to get a one-stop strategy soft medium at Brazil. So it's certainly a good tyre at Brazil. The question is, though, as a slightly higher downforce track, of course, means that we're going to be going through tyres a lot more fast around here today. Will he be able to replicate that here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve?
Exactly. We've got 35 laps of hopefully some very interesting racing. It's going to be interesting. For Goo, I reckon we'll get a very decent start like he always does.
I would discredit
Kinda needs to
Redemption though.
pick up.
I've sat alongside him on the grid in this tournament, and he's a very, very quick starter. So don't discredit the Toro Rosso.
I've not really, obviously, I've not raced against Redemption. I think I've raced against Redemption in I want to say URL. I think. I don't know if it's that Redemption, but I've raced against a Redemption in URL, I believe. Because I think that was the season when me and you were teammates.
Can't remember so correctly, but I do know of
That
a
was
Redemption.
ages ago, though.
I've got a memory like I've got a memory like a sieve, mate. I've got absolutely no idea. I mean, like I said, I know from Redemption through this tournament, and I know he's a very quick starter, so I wouldn't discredit him to take the lead of the race at turn one. But it all depends on what Pagoo does, because of course he's going to be sat on the first row, and his teammate on the second row as well could be of good use to hold Ninja back. Sorry, so yeah, certainly going to be one to watch. Drivers now starting to finish their run through, and the drivers now lining up on the grid.
Panda and Bivin right at that. I thought Bivin joined before Panda, but it's not really going to mean much. But here we go. We have more 5 lights. And away we go. And Pagoo, a bit of wheel spin there, but he's going to take the lead into turn 1.
Snorlax looking up on
Snorlax
the inside. Great run. He's going to have the inside.
And have the outside, and he's round, and it's P2 for Snorlax.
Great run.
We got any more movers? Sinistro's up to P8 already.
Oh, Bradford
and Ride Dog.
do well. Bradford could do well getting past Redemption here. Could be 1, 2, 3 for SV, and it will hold Redemption and G Ninja here. Could be good work here from the SV lot.
Bond
there goes Richard.
Terrible start.
Oh, there goes Richard onto the track. Oh,
just about kept it. He's going to have Panda gone past him already. Bonge, I have no idea what Bonge is doing, but
yeah,
I want to keep an eye on this battle at the front. Richard is now second to last currently. I was about to say Bonge had a very terrible start, but Richard losing 6 places. We've got a yellow flag.
Surely this is the call now. Surely this is the call now for the tyre swap for Sinistro to overtake SV Lucas based on tyre strategy. And there he goes.
Through. Lucas will most likely try and hold up Danny as much as he can.
Oh,
Redemption. Redemption already 1.1 seconds behind, and Bonge is already into the pits.
Yeah, Bonge ended up crashing into the wall. It looks like it's around about turn 9. And then heading through now, an SV Bradford looking to try and get past Redemption. This would be the best case scenario. Would be the best case scenario here for SV Bradford to get Redemption. So we've got Danny past Lucas. That's Lucas struggling on the medium tyre. Ninja, fair play to him though. He's holding up on these medium tyres at the moment, and clearly under these overcast conditions, we're under a situation where there's going to be significantly less grip. And SG Bradford actually needs to get past Redemption, I feel, if he wants to hold up a good 1, 2, 3 for SV here. So he's going to have to put his skates on here as the Mercedes.
Ninja nearly running into the back of Bradford at the hairpin.
Still getting really close up to Ninja though as well, so don't discredit the Brazilian.
Yep, he's had a fair few decent races the past week. He's had, I think, like 3 races at Brazil. And he's finished on the podium in each one. And Future Ride Dog into the pits already. I'm guessing due to some damage. He did pick up a 3-second time penalty. which may have been a case of him cutting a corner after crashing into the wall potentially. And Snorlax already 2.1 seconds behind Pagoo. So Pagoo is showing some very early pace, but I know what Pagoo is like. He will start to lose a little bit of his tyres, and he will start to.
Bradford needs to put his skates on. He's going to get into a battle here with Janinja at this stance here. The Mercedes is struggling with grip at the moment. It is not able to get close to Redemption, and Janinja is now getting onto his gearbox. And there's going to be an opportunity here as well, because I think SV Bradford has just lost the DRS on Redemption, and Janinja might get him down here at the end of turn 10-11 and heading through onto the DRS. But then Sinistro coming through for a bit of a move himself here, and that's going to help Bradford out. Really, really good teamwork here from Sinistro and Bradford, and it's going to force Janinja here into a position where he's not going to be able to make the overtake on Bradford, surely. Going into 13, and Bradford touching the grass as he heads in as well. That's not going to help his position. Great exit from the Renault, and might put Bradford in a bit of a spot of bother heading into turn 1 here. Here we go.
Bradford covering that inside line fairly well. Everyone's kind of got a massive gap behind them now. Behind Sinistro. We've got a load of red X's. Oh no, I think we're fine now. F1 being F. Oh, here we go. Ginger Ninja about to attack Bradford here. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, and Bibbin's out. They've already got one
particularly. It's in a poor corner as well. We might end up seeing virtual safety car on that particular corner, but I don't know. It's kind of Masters, but no one knows.
There. And Redemption's within DRS of Snorlax, so Snorlax, I'm guessing, probably trying to save his tyres a little bit more. Here comes Ginger Ninja, DRS activated on the Mercedes driver.
Playing a really poor call here. Going back to that battle for P4, sorry to be stuck here, and I'm just going through here now, and Bradford is really struggling. He's now yunched up all the way through his ERS here, and Janinja is going to be able to go around the outside of 1 to have the inside of 2. He needs to break late, does the Mercedes, and he does so, and he forces Janinja out wide.
Oh,
and that's going to cause a spin, surely, and it does.
Oh,
yeah.
And Sinistro hits him as well. Sinistro's got wing damage.
That is not very fair racing, in my opinion, from the Mercedes when it forced him out onto the curb. And yeah, it's a little bit dangerous as it's forced his teammate Sinistro in a bit of a predicament as well. That's not fair, I feel. Oh dear.
Redemption's within 3/10 of Snorlax here. Could see a move for P2. So it appears, I'm not sure if did Ninja pick up any damage from that? I don't think he did. No, he's fine. Bonge picking up a 5-second time for he's in the pits again.
Let's put Danny in a position up to P5 though. Here comes Panda though, and Lucasade! Oh, and Lucasade and Panda getting into fruition there, and that Lucasade straight into the wall, because Panda's really poor driving from the racing point, nearly put Lucasade into a position where he could have been out of the race, so surely he's not going to go for the dive into 13, and he doesn't, because they're both pitting, because they've both got wing damage.
Oh, Lucasade picking up a 5-second time penalty.
Janinja let back through by Danny in sector 1. Yellow flags waved. I don't know where for, but yeah, we're back up into positions here. Bonge now lapped by SV Bradford, and Redemption on the back of Snorlax.
Snorlax got a pretty decent exit out of that corner though.
I think Snorlax had a technical fault with his DRS that's just fixed, because he's just had the spanner removed on the graphic. Redemption now going to have DRS heading down the straight. He's got plenty of DRS to use here. Snorlax has got some, but isn't using it. And here comes an overtake before we head into 13 by Snorlax. He's going to have to hold on if he can, but I don't think he's going to have to concede it. No, he's into the pits.
Oh, both are in. Oh, and Redemption hits the wall as well. Not sure if he's picked up any damage.
No, he's got away with it, I think.
Might have slight wing damage that you can't see. So Bradford into P2, and Pagoo, Snorlax should they'll definitely get ahead of Richard. So Pagoo will hopefully try to get ahead of the Bonge getting lapped himself.
Not been the best drive so far from the SV lot from SV Bradford. Currently now 2 and a bit seconds down off Redemption. No doubt he'll be coming to the pits. He'll be talking with Pagoo now, so we'll have the Mercedes in. And obviously that will give the lead to Danny F1 and Engine Ninja, who obviously are on medium
Lucas Aid
tyres.
and Panda into turn 1.
Yeah, they've been battling all the way through the race here, and they've had a bit of an issue at turn 10, turn 11. Have these two here, and now you got Lucas Aid losing buckets of time. I think he might have wing damage again. Has the Ferrari? We'll have to see. In fact, no, he doesn't. So he's just struggling at the moment for grip, and you can see there.
On
whoa, very wide.
Slower tyre as well.
It's on hards, yeah.
With Panda on the. Panda looks like he's going to be doing. Obviously, we'll have to pit.
Bradford
again, and
in
Bradford,
the pits.
As you said, is into the pits.
And surprisingly enough,
Ginger
Redemption
Ninja
taking an extra lap on the softs actually at this moment in time. So we think the medium tyre will be faster tyre here as Ninja is let through by Danny. And here comes SV Pagoo on the fresh and soft tyre. So he's committing to a 2-stop, and that's the 3-second time penalty for cutting turn 1. And him and Snorlax are going to be sort of getting up close and personal. And surprisingly enough, SV Bradford committing to a 2-stop as well, I think. But he's going to be on the medium tyre. So a slight changing alternative strategy from the Mercedes crew. And hopefully he'll get out in front of the Red Bull like he does.
Richard also pitting this lap as well. It's going to be under some pressure from Panda, but he should be fine. He's going to lose 1 place, I think. Only just out. He goes on a little bit straight near the exit of that corner.
I really don't think that's a good
call.
call.
But Lucas late.
Oh, sorry, I really don't think it's a good call from Redemption to stay out this long at the moment on the soft tyre because he's getting
and Bond is round again.
Struggling on the hards. Wow.
F1
that's the wrong way, Bond.
Redemption's still going out for 1 more lap.
Really don't think it's a good call from Redemption staying out this long on the softs. Surely he's going to be losing the buckets of time.
Already. 1.1 seconds already.
3-second time penalty for Redemption now, as well as Pogo gets fastest lap actually. And you know what, Pagoo's going to be now on the back end of these cars here, and it's going to be their job to try and hold Pagoo as much as he can, which allows Redemption to continue on these softs and have a better strategy. He might be looking to a 2-stop, but have an extended medium stint, which for a potential for a 1-stop here, and it'll be Danny and Ninja's job to slow Pagoo down. Of course, that's going to bring Snorlax and Bradford also into it as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Danny and Ninja deal with it. As Bonge gets another 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but I think he's out, isn't he?
Yep, he's retired in the pits. Let's see if Redemption is to pit this lap. Got Pagoo right onto the back of Danny here. Last time out of Germany, these two kind of came close to each other, and Pagoo getting very upset with what happened.
You'd expect Pagoo now to get past Danny, no problem at all. Oh, it's giving him no space at all, it's Danny, but it's easily done.
And Pagoo is up into P3. And Redemption is into the pits.
They haven't done the job very well. Redemption
and Snorlax. Snorlax nearly losing out of turn 14, but he's kept it on the track, and Richard is past Panda into the hairpin.
Theoretically, there should be easy pickings.
DRS.
There should be easy pickings for Pagoo, but he needs to find at least 15-20 seconds on Ninja, because he's going to be coming in the pits probably for a set of hards. Pagoo's going to be coming into the pits next for a set of mediums, and he needs to have that extra pit stop.
Exit there. Then he goes
around the outside. Ninja's going to hold on to it. Good run there from defending from the Renault. Heading into 10. Ninja really struggling at the moment for traction at the moment on these 9-lap mediums. These fresher softs for SV Pagoo doing him some wonders here. DRS open.
And here we go.
Hopefully down the main straight, and here he comes, and that should be a position gain unless Ninja can hold on, and no, I don't think he's going to be able to, and he's conceded the position.
I think someone's hit the wall. The last corner has been absolutely destroyed on, the barrier been absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure.
We have a dedicated 1-stop from Redemption, by the way. Hard tyres for him to the end of this race, but we have seen the hard tyre not really be a very suitable tyre for anyone that was using it, as Ninja has locked up his rears going through that turn 5, I believe, and now he's going to be struggling to hold on to any kind of time to Pagoo here, and he needs to find 15 seconds, Pagoo, in order to make this two-stop work, and he's already nearly 2.5 seconds in just half a lap, so a really good run here from the Mercedes.
Yep. We've got Sinistro on Rydog at the moment. It seems to be getting a lot darker now. So unless they're holding off for some rain, Rydog cuts that corner. It's going to be under threat from Sinistro here.
Really poor run from
going to the
Snorlax at the moment as well. Great fast driver is Snorlax, but he's really struggling at the moment.
Sinistro round the outside, doesn't get the move done, but he's going to have DRS down into turn 13 and 14.
It's going to be a good run from the Haas here. Side by side. Oh, great run from the Haas. Oh, fantastic racing from Sinistro.
The move is done. We've got Panda losing time. Lucas losing a lot of time. We just lost 2 seconds alone that lap. Or those hard tyres. Hard tyres appearing to be the tyre not to use. Pagoo with a 3.5 second gap already. That rain.
Here comes Snorlax now, started to munch through the gap. I think he's looking after these soft tyres, and now he's starting to push. Gap now 1.9 seconds on Danny. 3.5 seconds now for Pagoo, as you said. Yeah, Pagoo's now going to be wanting his to do his best here to try and pull the gap, and he's doing quite well. Janinja really struggling for grip at the moment as well. He lost it heading through turn 10. So the Renault will maybe be considering a change of tyres fairly soon, I would suspect. I don't think it'll be now.
Continues on for one lap. I don't know if you noticed that barrier at the World Champions has been absolutely destroyed. It actually has no barrier behind it. You ride on Ball Redemption, you can literally just sail through it. Oh, Redemption running out quite wide there. 4 seconds now, the gap at the top. So Pagoo's strategy looks like it's definitely in favour with Ginger Ninja. Obviously, still yet to pit, as well as Danny not pitting just yet.
Bradford's starting to get on the rear end of Redemption now as well, and those hard tyres not doing any justice for Redemption's pace at the moment.
Snorlax now within DRS of Danny. Bradford won't be too far, won't be too long until he has DRS on that Toro Rosso. Oh, Danny running out very wide. That's going to definitely give Snorlax that opportunity that he needs. Probably down into turn 13 and 14. Danny runs out slightly wide. Wow.
Yeah, it's a great exit there from the Haas, and he's going to be able to get the move done before DRS, I feel. Here he comes.
Oh, Danny.
He's being blocking as much as he can, and Danny's really giving it no space. That's the wall!
Oh, what's he doing? No. Oh, he's spun him as well.
It's sitting on a purpose as well. That's poor running from Danny. No way, in any way, that LR can allow that from any of their drivers. That is really, really poor sportsmanship. Really poor. And here comes Snorlax into the pits.
For me, please, so I can get that sent in. I would, but I'm not allowed to pick things apparently.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. That's really, really disappointing, because that was some good racing. That, and Danny, it was there. Was Snorlax, he should have given him the space. And Danny, in very unsportsmanlike circumstances, he did it at Austria as well with a few of the SV runners. And yeah, I'm sorry, but Danny's guilty party there, in my opinion.
He did the exact same thing last week, but there wasn't any casualty with that. Pagoo with a 16.1, well, just gone under 16.1 seconds now.
So disappointed.
Bradford.
I'm really upset. You know what I'm really upset for in that circumstance is Snorlax, because he was having a good run there. He was starting to push on the soft. He was playing the patient game to have a better run on a two-stop, and now he's forced onto a set of hards, and now he's behind drivers he shouldn't be. I feel really, really sorry for him, and I know we all know what Snorlax is like. He's a dedicated racer. He'll be disappointed with that.
He is on the hards, even though it says he's on the mediums. But he is on the hards. He is on the back of Panda here, so should be a fairly easy move. And Panda's done the exact same thing. Closing the door very, very late there. Here comes Snorlax once again. Gonna start making up some positions here. And
He's
Panda's
definitely
doing
got
the
the gap
exact
there.
same thing.
But Panda was forced to give space, and he's just put himself out there. That's karma, I feel that. That's karma. He just put himself in a position where he wasn't going to give any space. He didn't see the wall and put himself into it. That is karma.
I think Danny will have to pit at least once more here. He's on the softs.
20 laps on a set of softs is doable if you look after them, and currently he's got 15% ERS and he's pushing and then he's coming off, so now he's going to have to pit again, is Danny. It's not a good call to go onto the softs, but no doubt it's going to get slapped with a time penalty anyway for that incident with Snorlax. He just left no space at all on a straight.
I mean, he was probably going to give 2 penalties, one for closing the gap and putting him into the wall, and then intentionally taking him out, so could be looking at quite a hefty penalty.
I think this is an issue that I think a lot of the cynical velocity drivers had complaints with throughout the campaign. And I think LIVID are going to have to really think about their drive, who they choose for this tournament, because, and any future tournaments, because some of the driving from the drivers, especially in tonight's race, from Danny especially, has been very subpar. So fingers crossed LR will get to the bottom of this issue, because I mean we all know LR, we know the workings of LR, and they do a really good job, and I'm fairly sure that they'll get to the bottom of who the culprits are and make sure that the reputation is kept at the highest as it possibly can.
Yep, Ginger Ninja picking up a 3-second time penalty, and in all of that, Bradford has indeed got past redemption and gained a 1.4 second lead there. Richard picking up a time penalty there. He does have Snorlax, which I don't think he's going to hold up him too much. Snorlax is on charge right now. It's a really
poor call from SV Bradford to go onto those mediums though, because he's 15 seconds behind his teammate, 1 and a bit seconds behind redemption. He's got to try and find at least 10 seconds on these medium tyres to make the 2-stop work. No doubt Pogo, unless he makes a mistake, has probably got this race in the bag, but with the 1-stoppers around in redemption, and obviously Snorlax and Lucas possibly could go to the end as well. Could be an interesting one. Of course, you've got to remember, Pagoo is also prone to penalties as well, so he's going to want to try and keep pushing to make sure that he has enough of a gap. I believe that's now 6 seconds worth of penalties for the Brit.
Yep, Snorlax being let through by Richard. Good call from Richard there to let Snorlax through.
Oh, I feel so sorry for Snorlax, mate.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that sent in, and to be fair, as much as I know Danny wants to race in this, that's 2 weeks. I mean, like you say, it happened in Austria as well. And I think he's becoming quite a liability towards LIVID. LIVID, I'm not going to lie, they have decent drivers, but when you see stuff like that, it kind of questions
as a level
behind it. And
as a level of impartiality, though, we all know, the works of LR. We know that they do their best to make sure that they field drivers that do accurately present their values. And I'm fairly sure, on reflection of this 10 versus 10 tournament between SV and LR, they will be able to look at their roster and think, listen, you caused some real problems for us and caused some detrimental issues for our viewers. And I think at the end of it, they will be the people that decide who's suitable for their team and not. And if that includes having to remove people, that's their call. At the end of the day, we are, just wanting to have a bit of fun and a bit of entertainment. And when stuff like that's happening, it's not really that fun to watch.
No. Redemption picking up another 3 seconds. I think that's either 9 or 12 seconds added into his race time. Oh, and Danny F1 getting a little bit of out of shape, and there's a yellow flag. I'm not sure what that was for. Might have been for Lucas aid potentially. Bradford now with a 2-second gap towards redemption. Starting to pick up the pace, but Ginger Ninja onto the back and Pagoo into the pits. Set of mediums to the end.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one's going to develop. It means, of course, Bradford is going to be inheriting the lead here. Shouldn't imagine that Pagoo is going to be able to...
far behind.
Should imagine Pagoo might be able to get out in front of the Toro Rosso and the Renault if he's fast enough. It's going to be very close, and he will need to be close here. And yes, they do. So that's going to certainly help the situation. And surely Pagoo now could help Bradford's situation here. Not push on those medium tyres. Just hold on. We shall look after his long-term race. Actually, this worked out very well from the SV drivers at Mercedes. Good racing from the two of them.
Oh, Pagoo running out slightly wide there. Don't think he's got any damage. He shouldn't have.
Richard in the pits as well.
We'll release Lucasade, I believe, into... Oh, Richard's got no front wing. That's why he's into the pits. Lucasade up into P9, and Bradford letting Pagoo through. I believe Ginger Ninja... Has he actually pitted yet?
I don't know. I'm looking at it now, and he has pitted. He's on a set of softs now that are 5 laps old. I think it was a bit of a bad call from Mercedes here to let Pagoo through here, because he's leaving Bradford very vulnerable. 11 lap mediums versus 5 lap softs. Meanwhile, Pagoo could have held back and given Bradford the pit stop to be able to go to a stop and guarantee themselves a 1-2. And Futile Dog, 10-second time penalty for corner cutting as well. So really hefty penalties happening for LR drivers in and around the midfield. But yeah, I think it's a really poor call from the SV guys at the front.
I've been told to look at the... You still got the stream running, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Apparently someone's commented on it or something.
Yeah, SV One Shot has made a comment in it saying that he saw the incident, and that was in reference to what happened between Danny and Snorlax.
Yeah. Ginger Ninja attacking Bradford here.
Oh, it's a really poor run-in from Bradford. This is what the problem is with the weaker medium tyre, and this is why I suggested Pagoo should have just held on into second place and given Bradford the pit stop. He would have guaranteed himself the win, because Redemption, yes, has to go to the end on those hard tyres. Ninja doesn't. So I really think it's a poor call from Pagoo to just scream ahead now, and it's very, very... I'd have thought here that would have been a really good call from Bradford to just start pulling ahead here, and Pagoo to hold Ninja back. But yeah, very, very, very unwise, I feel.
Danny F1 picking up another 3-second time penalty. Right on board. Oh, Bradford getting out very wide there. I can't stick on board with Ginger Ninja. That glitch is annoying.
Oh, it's got a lot more traction though.
Game.
Ninja's got so much more traction though, heading through into turn 10, and he's surely not going to go for the dive now, and he's going to go out wide. Is Bradford? He's left a bit of a gap. Oh, and a bit of a too quick on the gas from Ninja is going to put him in a position where he might not be able to make the overtake heading into 13. But Bradford for sure is holding on for dear life, but he's going to have to pit again at some point. Is the Mercedes, and this is where I said Pagoo surely should have just held on and forced Ninja into munching through all of his tyres, because he would have had to pit anyway. Pagoo didn't need to. So yeah, it was very, very odd decision to let Pagoo through, in my opinion.
Sinistro picking up a 3-second time penalty. There's a battle between Rydog and Lucasade, but I think Lucasade is going to start losing a lot of time here. Back on board with Ginger Ninja and Bradford here. Oh, and Ginger Ninja runs in too deep there.
Rear lockup again. He's struggling with his differential.
Gets a little bit sideways. He's probably going to be out of DRS fairly soon. Absolutely attack those corners. Going to still be within DRS though, which is definitely going to help him into... Oh, and he went into the back of him as well, and Lucasade is back into those pits to get rid of those horrible, horrible hard tyres.
Here comes Ninja.
Here comes Ginger Ninja again. He's going to look for the move. Doesn't get the move done just of yet though. We'll have a second dose of DRS though. Still not close enough. Lucasade has now been lapped by these guys.
Sinistro in the pits for his final stop of the race. Should be a set of mediums to the end, I think, but maybe a set of softs. Here he comes.
Ginger Ninja is on. Oh, we got yellow flag. Oh, and Rydog's off.
Rydog's off. That's going to bring Richard into play here.
Sinistro will be coming out in P7.
Got away with it though, Rydog. No wing damage on
I
look
think
on
he's
here.
just spun on a curb, to be fair. Oh,
Yeah.
Ginger Ninja getting very out of shape.
Now this is where we're starting to see the durability of the medium tyre, because Janinja is now starting to struggle on these 9-lap-old softs. So perhaps it was a good call for Pagoo to be let rip here, and he's taken the risk for Bradford to be able to hold on. And now he's starting to push his Janinja. And Bradford just, yeah, he's just holding off an ERS 0. He knows he's safe, and
He's
Bradford
in.
in the pits. And now he's going to let Janinja go, but on what tyres? He's got no grip at all. And Redemption is getting another 3-second time penalty, as does Fuel Tower iDog. And Bradford now on a set of softs to the end. That's going to be significantly faster than Janinja. So I think Janinja now is going to be a sitting duck.
Personally, if I was Ginger Ninja, pit this lap to try and cover off Bradford. Bradford will obviously be on.
He was It was already
Danny
9
F1.
seconds. He ended up being about 9 seconds in front, wasn't it? Or was it a little? I can't remember, but he was certainly in better territory, and he's only 14 seconds in front of Redemption, so he's only 14 seconds in front of Janinja. So if he comes in now, he's gonna do its damage limitation more than anything. And yeah, clearly the hard tyre is now the faster tyre, because he's really struggling through those corners of 8 and 9. And heading into 10, you'll start to see now the difference between the two. Is Janinja locking up the rears again? Wow. He's got to make some. He has to. No, it's not. He has to make some changes to his differential, because he's really locking up those rears practically all the time. And no doubt Janinja's going to come in now and change onto a set of mediums. There's no way he's going to carry on. Yeah, there we go.
Redemption moves up to P2. Gonna have Bradford all over the back of him. I'm guessing another set of softs to the end.
Bradford,
and Richard picking up another 3-second time penalty.
Bradford easily going to be able to get past Janinja here.
The end.
He needs to make differential adjustments to Janinja, because if he doesn't, he's going to keep locking up those rears, and he's going to give himself some real problems heading towards the end of this race.
Snorlax up into P5.
Next stop for SV Bradford is Redemption. Redemption is going to the end of this race, remember. 25 laps on the hards is easy. It's just whether he can munch through that 13-second gap, which is probably doable, considering he did a valiant effort to try and hold off Janinja. But Janinja is also on a fresh set of softs as well, so this is going to be a battle for a 1-2 finish for Mercedes, or if LR are going to sneak one. Going to be interesting.
Ginger Ninja losing about a second there in the first sector. 3 seconds now. 12.1 between Redemption and Bradford. 11.9. That time is coming down very, very quick. So we're looking at around a second and a half now each lap. Just over a second and a half for Bradford to catch up to Redemption. I think Redemption has a lot of penalties, so
that's obviously going to play into the hands of Bradford, yeah. And Janinja as well obviously might be put into the podium as a result of that as well. It's been a valiant effort from Redemption as well, considering his strategy to go onto a one-stop. But I think this time around it's not just really going to work for him this time around, because Bradford and Janinja are looking very quick. And I don't discredit Snorlax as well, because if Snorlax keeps powering on these hard tyres to the end, he might end up overtaking Redemption on penalties as well. So Snorlax might be on for a P4 finish if he's lucky here, but I think he'll be disappointed because he knew he deserves more.
Could potentially see a swap between Sinistro and Snorlax here. Sinistro obviously on those. Oh, he gets a little bit of a oversteer moment there. Futile Rydog picking up another time penalty. I can probably see Sinistro being let through here.
Yeah, I do hope Snorlax lets him through, because I think he knows he's not going to be the faster car on those older hards. But it's still very much all to play for. Sinistro's starting to lag a little bit all over the shop, but that's because of his connection, obviously being from Brazil.
That's obviously from America.
And down here, he's got no fuel as well as Sinistro as well. He's starting to go on a fuel save now. Is the Brazilian, and here he comes, and surely he's not going to give him no problems here, and he's let the gas go. Let the gas go, and Snorlax gives him his P5. Yeah, very, very good stuff there from SV.
Yep. Bradford 9.9 seconds behind, so I think he is within those penalties, so he would claim P2, but Ginger Ninja starting to pick up the pace as well. Currently 4 tenths up on his best time, so we could see potentially a fastest lap here. Pagoo.
this is where we've got to bear in mind. Sorry to interrupt. This is what to bear in mind as well. Redemption, obviously, now the gap down to 9.6. So at the rate he's going at the moment, Bradford should catch up to Redemption. But the issue is of actually past him. And the thing is that yeah, it doesn't matter about the penalties in that circumstance. If Bradford can't get past him, Janinja might be in a position where he can then overtake Bradford, and then in that circumstance, we're going to end up with only an SV13 and get P2. So Redemption still has a lot to play in this, regardless of his penalties.
Yep. Coming down to 8 seconds now, so time is definitely coming. What Bradford kind of needs is Ginger Ninja to make some mistakes so he can get that time.
He doesn't need to push. That Bradford's actually detrimentally causing some problems for himself here because he keeps pushing himself into ERS 3 and 4 on the straights, which I can respect is probably as a reaction to try and get as much time as he can. But he's gaining all of his time not on the straights but on the corners, so he needs to stop using his ERS because he may need to defend off Janinja here, and Janinja has got tons of ERS to use. So SV Bradford needs to stop using the high ERS modes, otherwise he's going to struggle defending from Janinja here.
Yep, 1.7, 1.8 now. 8.4 second they got. I will be back fairly soon, just need to pop to the toilet.
Continuing on with this coverage then of the Livid versus Cynical Velocity 10 versus 10 tournament. Only 13 people, as a quick reminder, made it to this race tonight. We've got 6 laps to go, and currently as it stands, SV Pagoo on lap number 29 of 35, leading the way on these medium tyres. 16-lap-old hards for Redemption, 19-lap-old hards for Redemption, 16 seconds behind Pagoo at the moment, as Sector 1 yellow flags waved for a car unknown to me who did that one. But Bradford now 7.8 seconds behind, but also losing time to Janinja at the moment. He needs to stop munching through all of his ERS on these main straights, does Bradford, otherwise he's going to end up losing all momentum against Janinja, who's gaining buckets of time on him at the moment, who has plenty of ERS available and actually using none on the straights at the moment. Sinistro in P5 on the medium tyres at the moment. I did suggest as well with Janinja, he needed to come in and make some differential adjustments because he keeps locking up his rears at the moment. And SV Snorlax down in P6 on the hard tyres at the moment. Very disappointing for him after that collision with Danny F1. Did see the Haas driver struggle, and then SV Richard in P8 with Futile Ride Dog and plenty of penalties, him in P9, and SV Lucasade in P10. Very good stuff from the drivers. 5 laps to go as we should have a returning SV Gorilla entering into the chat, and here he is.
Yeah, sorry about that. Needed a quick toilet break. So Bradford keeping that gap around the same, but he's run up wide a little bit there.
He's really struggling at the moment.
What is the pit stop around this time?
You have to...
Pagoo
could theoretically speaking, he could pit again, but he will end up behind Redemption as it stands at the moment. He needs to find at least 22-23 seconds in order to do that, and if he keeps pulling it the way he is, he will get that gap. But SV Bradford in this circumstance is currently 6.1 seconds behind, and will have DRS off his Lucasade as well, so that's going to help his case. But he's not helping himself because he keeps using all of his ERS on the straights, and he's not going to gain anything on the straights compared to Redemption, because Redemption has got tons of ERS to use. He just needs to use the ERS around the exit of the corners, and he'll be in a better position, because the problem is that you've got Janinja, who's currently on 81% ERS and now about to enter SV Bradford's DRS. He needs to stop using that DRS now, otherwise Janinja is going to be able to benefit from the lack of ERS on Bradford's part. Remember, he may also have differential adjustments now as well to make sure he doesn't keep locking up those rears, as there's definitely a tap from Janinja as well, but I think he's going to get away with that because damage is not on simulation.
Yeah, he's gone away with it. Unless it's very, very slight. And Bradford
with a 3-second time penalty as well. He's starting to feel the pressure, and the pressure is going to come from the lack of ERS as well. That's not going to help his case. He really, really needs to stop using it on the straights.
He's out of DRS now. I mean, just about. I think with that slight tap onto the wall, Bradford's got away with it once again.
And here comes Janinja now. He's starting to use his ERS. He's starting to use his ERS now as the Renault, and this is going to put Bradford in a really detrimental position here because he has no ERS to use. As Bradford, he needs to get it above 50% really if he wants to feel comfortable in his own skin. But Ninja is now going to have DRS. He's going to start having DRS here now, and he's got 3 laps to be able to close down the gap to Redemption at that same time.
Rydog's been disqualified.
That's many penalties for futile Rydog. Wow, and has got himself disqualified from this session, so we're now down to 9 runners.
30 seconds. Something like that, I think.
I think it's around about 6 or 7 penalties before the game just retires you out through disqualification. So, going to be interesting.
Very good exit here.
Oh, that's a bit of a late move. Late move from Bradford. He is going to hold on, and he does give a little bit more space this time. But of course, he's going to have now Ninja on his back. It's going to be very difficult to see, and he's now using all his ERS again. He's falling into that trap.
To be fair, if Ginger Ninja can get past Bradford, that would be pretty well deserved, since seeing as Ginger Ninja didn't have the greatest of qualifying, very low down for where I think we both kind of expected him to be. We expected him probably to be on the front row at least, but Redemption doing very well. But remember, he does have both
very
going wide at the hairpin, and looks like Ginger Ninja's going to get this move done now. DRS now wide open.
He's got no ERS left as Bradford. He's going to have to hold the inside, but he's not going to get it. And there we go. No, he can't make the move there.
Oh, and I think hearts have just, well, I think our hearts have just gone up to our mouths, I think.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
And Ginger Ninja locking up once again into turn 1, but I think Ginger Ninja's going to start pulling away now.
Bradford will be kicking himself. He should have taken his own advice and stopped using all his ERS on those straights to try and catch up to Redemption. He's made those mistakes. He's realised he's made those mistakes, and I think he's starting to kick himself now.
That's a good battle, though. Very good battle between these two. Bit of a questioning kind of late move.
One person will be happy though about that. Will be Redemption, because now he's got a 3 and a bit second to Ninja here, and with 2 laps to go as well, he might end up actually holding on to P2 in merit. But of course, penalties may come into the equation here. So now it's down to Bradford not to try and catch Ninja here, but to try and hold on to P3 via Redemption's penalties. But of course, in doing so, he's actually got 6 seconds himself, so he might have ended up in the frustration of cutting the corners, now lost out on P3. Thanks to penalties, so it's going to be really disappointing stuff from Bradford here.
Could we potentially see a swap between Ginger Ninja and Redemption?
I wouldn't suspect so, no. I think we're now on to the penultimate lap here, 3.3 seconds. I think we're more likely to see Ninja now look after these softs, whereas Redemption now is just sort of running his own race here, so I think we're expecting about a similar pace between these two.
Lucasade appearing to go for fastest lap. Ginger Ninja, pick up a time penalty himself, but I don't think that's going to really mean all too much at the end.
Ninja currently on 9 seconds worth of penalties. Bradford on 12 seconds worth of penalties at the moment. Redemption currently now on 3, 6, 9, 12 seconds worth of penalties himself. So as it stands at the moment, Ginger Ninja will be staying in P3, but only by 0.2 of a second. So if he obviously gets within 3 seconds, he'll take P2. But Bradford and Redemption currently tied on penalties. So as it stands at the moment, Bradford will be off the podium, and that's just because of frustration. He cut corners to try and get close to Ninja, and I think he's now cost himself a podium as a result.
And the F1 picking up, it'll be close to getting.
Oh, there goes Bradford, and he puts himself straight into the wall, and I think he might have just got away without damage, and he has done, but he slid straight through into the wall of champions and hit full on, but managed to get away with it. And he's starting to, I think he's starting to feel the frustration of the car.
Yeah. Well, Pagoo coming up to the hairpin now. Claim this. I think it's pretty dominant victory from himself. Even with the penalties, he's still going to come home with the win. And I mean, he's only lost, I think, 1 position. Well, no, he after the first round of pits, I think he lost, 4 positions.
It was always in first. Great run.
coming around the final corner to win the Canadian Grand Prix, and I think
20 seconds, wow.
And with fastest lap as well, so he will be taking 26 points in.
Lucozade on
a
hot lap at the moment Lucozade on a hot lap at the moment though with the soft just in case, so we do have a backup, which is good.
Is now within 3 seconds of redemption, so Ginger Ninja looking to... Oh, he's put himself into the wall as well, but he should come across, and he does indeed
come
get
across
second, but Bradford...
to second. Will Bradford be able to take P3? He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, that's a shame. Sinistro.
He'll be kicking himself.
P5 in his debut.
What a race from Sinistro today.
Race. Yeah. He might lose it to Snorlax. I'm not 100% sure, but Snorlax
started in P10, Sinistro, you know. Started in P10, remember, up to P5, so a really good run, and Snorlax will be really upset with that result, and Danny comes across the line. He will be investigated.
Could actually probably lose his position there, but did you want to do the podium interviews?
Yeah, sure, not a problem.
Yeah, I'll get them in. Who was it again? It's why have I've not got my recent players? What? Oh, I'll just have to go through here. So it was Pagoo. Redemption. Where is he? Ginger Ninja. And then Redemption. There we go. So that is the Canadian Grand Prix, and finishing the standings as they are at the moment, with penalties looming. Pagoo wins the race with Ginger Ninja in P2, Redemption P3, Bradford in P4, Sinistro P5 in his debut, Snorlax P6, Danny in 7th, Richard P8, and Lucozade in P9. And out of the race, we obviously saw Panda, Bonge, Bibbin, and Rydog. I don't want to leave just yet. If you want to take over, Jota.
Good evening, gentlemen. Congratulations for your podium positions here tonight at the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll start off with our winner, SV Pagoo. John, you raced an absolutely excellent race and ended up 23 seconds in front of second place. Would you perhaps discuss your strategy and how you managed to race such a dominant race?
Yeah, it's Canada. It's one of my favourite tracks. The two-stop is definitely the fastest strategy around here in 50%. Those doing the one-stop, I knew already that I was going to have a straight-up advantage because the pit lane here is really short. So, yeah, I knew once I caught up to the back of Ninja, pretty much, I thought he was on the one stop originally, so once I'd passed him, I initially thought I already had the pit stop advantage over him, but obviously I think he did the two stop. I'm not too sure. You know, it could have been an easy 1-2 if Snorlax didn't get caught up in an incident. I'm not sure what happened. Apparently he got squeezed into the wall, but I haven't seen it. So I'll have a look at it later and see what I think. But
I think there's also a piece. There's also a piece I actually like to discuss just briefly before we go to the P2, which is the incident with your team, because Bradford managed to get himself into a relatively decent position with a two-stop, but doing an alternative with you, doing the second stint on medium tyres. You both ended up in a very, very ideal position where you ended up just behind Bradford. What was your mindset in that circumstance? Because I was questioning the idea of you potentially holding back the likes of Janinja and the other drivers. You know, did you feel that pull away, or did you feel that potentially you could have helped your teammate in that circumstance in just holding back and letting him have the pit stop? Or did you feel it was more suitable for you to just fly away?
Well, I was speaking to Brad. Brad has always been a good teammate, and to be fair, with my pace, I kind of just wanted to ensure the victory and get the maximum there with the Grand Slam. But yeah, I didn't really speak to him during that time. I just we just did our own thing, and then obviously he just let me. I was like, all right, okay, and then he just ended up pulling an absolute masterclass and was holding the guys behind him and was giving me an even more of a gap.
It
I just
was
like, he's a hero.
it was a great run.
He's a hero.
It was
I
a
love
great
Brad.
run from. It was a great run from
He's a
Brad.
geezer.
It was a great run for Bradford, and managed to get himself, unfortunately, just off of the podium thanks to the race. The two runners, Janija finishing in a very close second place with penalties included. It was only 0.6 of a second. Close at one point, actually, racing with Bradford as well, and in the end, getting that second place. So we'll talk about the racing between yourself and Bradford at that point. I mean, what was your mindset at the time? Did you just want to go through and punch, or did you just want to take your time and get past him? You know, what was your mindset?
Which battle you mean, in the first one when we had the incident, or the second one?
We're talking about the second run at this first time. Talk about the second run, which is in the end you ended up getting very close, and in the end it was an overtake at the end of an 11 between yourselves.
Yes.
You know, what was your mindset? Because you approached him very slowly before just making that punch. Were you intending to approach slowly, or was it more of a sort of struggling to keep up with him circumstance?
The intent was get to him as quick as possible, because when I came out of the pits, it was 4 seconds. Then I get within a second and a half, and I was like, okay, I know I've got quicker pace. I can reel it back a little bit, and then keep some tyres. And then I got a better exit out of the hairpin, and I was just like, alright, I'm going past now, instead of attempting turn 1, so we don't have a repeat of what happened the first time. Because I was still very angry when I was overtaking him. I'm not gonna lie, I was still angry.
I mean, that's one thing I wanted to talk about actually. Was that what's your view upon it based on you know what as you were driving from your perspective, you know, where do you see yourself circumstances? Do you see yourself as a more 50-50 thing, or do you think that there was more leaning issue with Brad heading into turn 1? What was your position?
I see it as a racing incident, but him a little bit more at fault, if like you know what I mean. So like 60-40. Because so I'm coming up to him, and coming out of the chicane, I was close, so I'd already pulled to the inside, and just as I get like almost alongside, he very quickly jolts left, so I jolt right, and instead of making the corner, he does pretty much a Rosberg and goes deeper into the corner, pushes me half off, and then instead of leaving me room for turn 2, he just turns across me. So I spin, and it puts me across the corner, and I get a penalty for it. And then I'm sorry to Sinistro that you got involved in that.
Really unlucky situation. I was about to mention Sinistro actually with that situation. Obviously, ended up hitting and ended up getting front wing damage as a result. But a very respectable in the end, and like I said, by only 0.6 of a second, because our P3 runner Redemption ends with a very, very, very good one stop in the end. Those hard tyres, finishes in P3, unfortunately due to the penalties. You know, very, very lonely race for you at times as well. Actually, Redemption one stop. Would you perhaps talk through, you know, your choice of strategy and how you felt it went for you going on that hard tyre?
Oh, it was terrible. I didn't do any practice. Shot every single one of my tyres in quali. So I didn't really have much choice but to do the one stop if I wanted to stand fresh tyres. Start was a pull and caught back up to Snorlax, and then he pitted, and they'd already undercut me, so I was like, yep, I've got to commit to the one stop, and just tried to stay clean. Failed miserably, got 4 penalties, but still managed to bring it home in P3, so pretty happy.
The P2 on the line, P3 in the end for yourself. LR managing to get a solid P2 and P3 finish in the end. Obviously now heading through to next week, you all guys have the choice of track to sort of Redemption for yourself. You know, will you be approaching the next week's race with a different sort of outlook maybe? You know, you managed to get yourself the one stop working on the 50% race, which would 2-stop would be better at Canada. Do you think you're going to approach the race next week differently with now you have the upper hand with the choice of track, or is it just going to be another one of those races where you just want to go up there, have fun, hope for the best kind of thing?
A bit of both, you know. SV is always a good bit of fun, but you know, rocking up 5 minutes late probably isn't my best preparation. and finding myself on hard tyres for 25 laps also isn't great either. So,
That's your normal
you know,
preparation, though, so there's no
I was
difference
going to
there.
say it's pretty standard for any race, but no, we'll have a talk. We'll think about tracks and hopefully put together a slightly better strategy and a stronger team for next week.
Rounds as
The
well.
next race, the next race, of course, is going to be at the choice of track for LR, and for the usual on Thursday on the SVOR Twitch channel at 6 p.m. That's it for the interviews. Thank you very much, and congratulations again to all of the podium sitters.
Yeah, I'd just like to say congratulations to all three of you for getting onto the podium. With some great racing, and lovely battle between obviously Ginger Ninja and Brad near the end. It was always fun to watch. But as Jot has said, we will be back next Thursday for LIVID. Obviously, we will be back again Monday for the finale of SVOR as well. Thank you, Jota, for helping me out tonight. Obviously, you didn't have to, but it's a very nice gesture. But obviously, yeah, we will be back again for round 9 of SV vs. LIVID. Until then, guys, thank you for watching and goodbye.